Alright, ladies and gentlemen, it is time for our second semi-final match here in the TLS Season 2. But first, a shout out to our sponsors, Razer and Twitch TV. Of course, you can see their logos everywhere on the stream. They are lovely, lovely sponsors, providing a very generous $500 prize pool for just this season alone. It's $500 for each regular TLS season, plus a 2K championship season at the end. So that's very exciting. And of course, huge thanks to TeamLiquid.net as well. So, with that, the next matchup, as you can see, TerrOr versus TechnicS, same maps, best of 5 once again, and the winner of this, of course, will go on to play against Seki in the finals, which I would imagine would be quite terrifying. But hey, I think I think it's quite interesting. I think TechnicS probably has a little bit more, what do I want to say, a bit more of a grudge. Not necessarily a grudge, but you know, last season of TLS, he had a fantastic opportunity to knock Seki out in the round of 16, and he blew it just by making a lot of mistakes, and afterwards he was quite angry with himself. So I'm sure he's been eager to play against Seki in a rematch here so far. He hasn't had the chance yet, but if he wins this best of 5, of course he will have that opportunity. TerrOr, on the other hand, is our last hope against the ZVZ finals, a repeat of last season. And I mean, he played an amazing TVZ series in the round of 8 against Michael, getting his revenge, winning it 3-2, although it was very close. It was down to the wire. It was literally down to the last unit in the final game. So it was no easy feat. But you know, Michael, very strong Zerg, and definitely means that TerrOr has a chance here against TechnicS. Although, in my personal opinion, TechnicS is a more frightening opponent just at this point because Michael, of course, was a bit inactive lately. But anyway, I think we're ready to go into game number 1. So here we go on Neo Jade, TerrOr versus TechnicS. Excuse me. So at the top left, as the white Zerg, we have TechnicS BG. And oh, is it Tupac? Are we getting rid of Tupac? Yes, let's get rid of Tupac. All right. Anyone want to take bets on what supply he leaves at? All right, 6. All right, anybody? Come on, place your bets. Place your bets. What supply? What supply? Oh no, it's the BM Obs. Oh, he's out. 6 supply. Didn't make it to 7. All right, who bet 6? I guess TechnicS is on 7 now. He was on 6 supply though, for sure. Alright, that's the build order. 6 supply, kick out Tupac. Alright, so what was I saying? I don't even think I was saying anything. So anyway, TerrOr likes to do very, shall we say, interesting builds in TVZ. He did a very effective biomech against Michael in the last, or in the round of 8, where he basically started off going mech, going like 2 Facts Goliath, and then switched back into like 5 Racks Marine, and just had a very strong Medic Marine Goliath composition. Now, I do feel that Michael didn't do a very good job in countering that composition, despite scouting it in both games. He just stayed on like Mass Muta and Hydra. Which isn't particularly effective against that. In fact, Mass Muta is the worst thing you can do against Biomech with Mass Goliaths. So I'm not really sure what Michael was thinking there. And I assume that TechnicS has at least seen the games or heard about them, you know, from some fellow Bulgarians. I always quite like when the Bulgarian top players play. First of all, there's a lot of really good Bulgarian players, but also there's a lot of really hardcore Bulgaria fans. They always seem to come out and cheer and make cheerfuls and fan videos and stuff, so they have quite a cool scene there. Anyway, so it looks like it was a 12 hatch here from TechnicS. And we do have a wall in now. I would assume this is going to be followed by an expansion here behind. I think he did the same thing against Michael. And yeah, he's not taking the gas, so it's definitely an expansion behind. So we could see the same style he did against Michael here. 2-fact Goliath back into bio. This is the exact opening that he did. Although obviously this opening does allow you to go into many different things. And this drone's actually being quite obnoxious. I think this SCV has to stop building and attack it now. Oh! Whoa! How did that not die? Man, if I was that drone, I'd be really mad. Oh man, 1 hit left. That is dirty. That is BM. Oh man. Anyway, it looks like TechnicS actually immediately getting the 3rd hatch at the top here. So this is the placement you want if you expect your opponent's going to go for some kind of factory opening. Just blocks a Vulture run by, and you can like build a den and build a sunken and all that good jazz. Almost like an anti-Protoss SimCity type thing, but you just want to block Vultures. And look at this, TerrOr is indeed going for the fast gas. He can still potentially just get an engineering bay for +1. And he is in fact doing that, look at that. So he's not actually doing the factory thing. I mean, I guess he still can. I don't remember when he built the engineering bay in those games, but I don't think it was this early. So I don't think he's actually doing this. And this is very smart because look at this. He's actually scouted this hatchery, I think, with this SEV. So he knows that TechnicS is actually sort of expecting something like what happened in that game against Michael. And now he's just going to do something completely different and play a very standard bio. Although that academy is actually quite early. I'm a little bit curious about this academy timing here. He hasn't made a second barracks yet, and he's already got an engineering bay and the academy started. So that's a fairly quick academy. I thought usually if you go, you know, for a fast +1, you at least get the second racks for your academy. I could be wrong. Maybe this is just some variation of that build. I'm sure he'll add a few more barracks pretty soon here. In the meantime, this SCV is still staying alive, probably going to die now to the sunken. But he gets a good look again that, you know, there is this kind of preparation SimCity. And he's going to be fine with that. Now, he still hasn't added on any barracks whatsoever. I'm a little bit surprised here. I mean, his money isn't getting high yet, but I mean, fast upgrades are nice, but if you don't have any units, this is pretty interesting. I'm wondering when he's going to actually add the barracks. Curious. Anyway, what's TechnicS doing? TechnicS is just going to go 3 H-Meter. Completely bog standard. So this is about to pop, and he has just enough gas for a Spire. Nope, where's the Spire? Oh, that guy? That guy? Yeah, so this is Spire. Now, ooh, I think he saw the medic. I think those links saw the medic there. So TechnicS now knows he's actually gone straight bio. This is way too fast to have a medic if he was starting off with some Goliath. So now TechnicS knows is actually not the build that he employed against Michael. And in fact, we finally have these additional barracks. He's in on 3 more here. He's going for the +1 into 4 racks, and we do have a lot of links out for TechnicS. But the thing is, with this wall here, they obviously can't do anything. He needs to wait for TerrOr to move out of his base and then backstab. So I think he should hide these at the 12 o'clock or something like that. You know, leave one link here. As soon as TerrOr moves out, he just goes in the back. Now I'm gonna keep getting these names confused. Terran and TechnicS are just way too similar. I mean, they're not that similar, but I don't know. It's getting very confused. Anyway, okay, there's actually the additional barracks. So he just didn't add them all at the same time. So he's doing a standard +1 5 racks. You can't just do it with 4 racks. Although, oh, is he doing a 7 racks? No, he's getting a factory. He did actually try a 7 racks all in against Michael in their last game, doing a C style build. That's the build that C did to beat Siki in their show match after last TLS. But no, it looks like he is just adding the factory now. So yeah, just gonna wait for a few more dudes. And this is actually interesting. Now that I look at this, you can see right now he has proportionally a lot of medics. But that's actually fine because I think he actually built these earlier with the Fast Academy so that they could actually start building up energy. And then, so when he moved out, he actually have a lot more energy on his medics than otherwise. Maybe that's why he got a really Fast Academy. I'm not 100% sure about that, but that seems to make some amount of sense. Anyway, the mutants are on the way now. So turrets are starting, so these are pretty well timed. Actually, really well timed. And he should be okay here. Again, the number of Marines doesn't feel that high, considering this is a 5 racks Marine. +1 Marine build, but, you know, they do have +1 now, so they're still going to be pretty scary. But, oh man, TechnicS does have a good number of Zerglings here, so Terra's got to be careful here. He's got to be careful. But the thing is, by staying in this little narrow area outside the natural, he's preventing the Lynx from getting a good surface area. You can see they can't really get the surround that they want. They can only kind of run headlong into the Marines, and that's not what they want. But Terra, he's got to be really, really careful not to go out too far here. Getting a few free shots off on TechnicS' Muta. TechnicS immediately is losing the Muta here, but he is baiting the Marines out really far. And now the Lynx are going in here, and this could be the moment. How good are the Marines? But oh man, it looks like the +1 Marines are just way too strong for the Zerglings. Despite the good attempt by TechnicS there, it just wasn't enough. The Marines just shredding everything there. Somehow they don't even have kills. Okay, there's a few kills. And TechnicS, in response, is being forced to make some sunken colonies. However, he is getting a third here at the bottom left. It's very far away. Obviously, cross maps is going to be difficult for Terra to actually attack that. So that should get up fairly safely if he keeps harassing with the Mutas. But man, that was a pretty big loss for TechnicS. He did make a lot of Zerglings early on where they could have been drones. So I'm sure his economy is a little bit behind where it should be right now. Meanwhile, he is getting lurkers, he is getting a Queen's Nest. He doesn't have an evolution chamber, he's not getting +1 carapace. Normally you would see that by now, you know, before the Queen's Nest or maybe a similar timing. But he's actually skipped that. I don't know if that's because he, you know, suffered that early hit and he can't afford it, but he does have a little bit of money banked. So I'm not sure why he's not getting that. I guess, you know, it's not, you don't have to, but you usually see that in ZBT, that carapace. And it looks like Science Facility is on the way for Terra. He's keeping up with his macro very nicely. 75 supply against a 67 of TechnicS. And TechnicS is going in here, but there are turrets very well placed here, defending everything. Although it looks like, ooh, just as I said that though, it looks like TechnicS does find a small opening here, but there are enough Marines reinforcing that they're just going to force these Mutas out. And oh man, the Muta's going to take a lot of turret shots on the way out as well. And I mean, they got a few SCV kills, but I'm not sure if that was worth it. He did lose a couple of Mutas, although he has actually thinned out the SCV line here quite a bit. But oh, he's going to catch another Muta on the retreat here. Nice interception move there by Terra. Oh, he's even going to get a second Muta because TechnicS wasn't quite paying attention there. In the meantime, this third base is now up and running. Looks like lurkers have come out. The hive is just now starting. Still no sign of an evolution chamber. That's my only concern for TechnicS, but otherwise, you know, I mean, he's not doing too badly. He did lose a good number of Mutas there, but he's now got lurkers out, so even though there's a lot of Medic Marine here, it's unlikely that Terra's going to be able to kill him with just Medic Marine, unless he has some miraculous micro. Although these lurkers are not well placed though, they're vertical. I don't know why. They should kind of be right next to each other, guarding this ramp. I mean, this I think allows potentially Terra to do some kind of fancy micro down there, although it would still be very, very difficult. And he's now got a very large number of Medic Marine. Although, is that just... Oh man, his +1 armor seems to have started really, really late. His +1 attack finished a long time ago, so it looks like he must have forgotten to get +1 armor or just didn't want it, but I feel like if you're going to go for fast +1, you should continue the upgrades. So it seems like he's just forgotten that, and for some reason he's just standing at his natural. His first vessel's out. He should go right now. He's got his first vessel. I don't know what he's waiting for. I mean, I thought for a second he'd be waiting for +1 armor, but that's not even close to done, so... I mean, the first vessel is normally the big attack timing. Don't know why he's not going. It looks like he's actually just going to play defensively and get a third, but that's very unusual. I mean, he can't just attack and get a third safely anyway. Alright, looks like he's finally moving out now. Charging with the medics. I'm a little bit, it seems like he, you know, definitely delayed a little bit longer than he should have there, but he does still have a very hefty force. Although he's got to be careful with the vessel! He has to be very careful with that first vessel, of course. That is an absolutely crucial unit in making this this first attack effective. Otherwise, he'll just have to use scans for all the lurkers, and that'll be quite annoying. But in the meantime, I mean, he's being very indecisive, and that's giving TechnicS plenty of time to get the Defilers up safely. I mean, even if this attack charges over to the natural now, I think the Defilers will be out in plenty of time, so I don't really know what he was waiting for. And in fact, there's plenty of lurkers here as well, so, you know, Terra's going to move up a little bit, but... I think the Defilers out should be out well in time to actually defend this. And in fact, despite all that, with the SCV over here, he actually hasn't taken the third. So I don't know what he was doing goofing off over there. And Terra's going to slowly move up here, but obviously he's fighting low ground to high ground, so he's got to be a little bit careful here. If TechnicS suddenly comes out and charges down the ramp, he could potentially be in a little bit of trouble. Meanwhile, it looks like TechnicS actually pulling all the lurkers from this third base, and I don't know if he's going to try and flank or if he's going to counterattack with them. But oh, the Scourge! Oh man, I think the Scourge could have actually hit there. but they just got a little bit messed up. And now, oh my god, the Marines are attacking uphill into lurkers. That's not what they want to be doing. They need a siege tank to siege down the lurkers for them. But look at this, Consume is over halfway done, but oh man, a big train of units now heading down to the bottom left. And these lurkers actually are now out of position, but they're running back as fast as they can. They're going to intercept the line of Marines here. And it looks like Terror is going to see it, though he's not going to walk into it. But now these units are not in the best defensive position, and Terra has an opportunity to go down and kill the bottom left 2 bases here. I think that might have been a mistake from TechnicS to move out these 4 lurkers. Now the entire army of Terra is heading down towards those bottom left bases. The Defilers, though, are out, and this actually leaves Terra vulnerable to a counterattack here. I think Terra should, like, mass fire bats and bunker up or something, because if TechnicS just goes for a huge counter on the natural, I don't know what he can do about it. But it looks like, I don't know where is TechnicS going. I don't see yet, but he's going to have to cancel this hatchery, and he could easily lose the bottom left. Although, does he have a Nidus? He does have a Nidus. He's got to bring the units in there ASAP, though. Where's that? Okay, there's the Nidus exit. I don't know why he's not bringing in units, though. Why are the units not coming? Okay, finally, the units are coming in, but that's too late. The units are already down the ramp. He needs a Defiler as well. Why is there no Defiler? He needs a Defiler from this Nidus canal, but it looks like TechnicS again, Terror being a little bit hesitant, but there we go. There's the counterattack that I was talking about. So it looks like TechnicS is splitting his forces, leaving just enough units to defend the hatchery, although he does lose his 3rd gas. But there's the huge counterattack. A lot of lurkers here with a max energy Defiler. Where's the Dark Swarm? There is the Dark Swarm, and TechnicS has very few units back at home here. No additional bunker. Good micro from him. There are both swarms expended, and the Defilers are radiated, so the swarms will stop here. However, it is close enough to get a good number of Marine kills there, and TechnicS is still holding on to this 3rd base. He's got a Defiler there now, finally. So he should be able to push these units back, moving the lurkers up. Looks like he's going to move a few things up first there, maybe to draw some shots. I don't know why he's not pulling the lurkers there as well. Okay, now the lurkers are coming up a little bit behind. And, you know, despite it looking a little bit hairy there for TechnicS, you know, risking this bottom left third, it's looking like it's paying off here, because he's got lurkers just camping Terra's natural right now, but the swarm does run out and there's no more Defilers in the back, so these lurkers are going to have to run away here or just bite the dust to the siege tanks. But in the meantime, still more engagements going on here at the bottom left here, just action all over the place, and it looks like, yes, TechnicS is going to pull these lurkers back. He does not want to sacrifice them, although he's just repositioning, just making sure that Terra cannot reinforce this army at the bottom left, and it looks like TechnicS has reestablished his gas, as well as now taking the 9 o'clock base, throwing down a 3 hatcheries there. He was a little bit high on money, I guess. Meanwhile, is there a 3rd command center? Okay, a 3rd command center just now started for Terror. He's got double engineering base, 6 barracks, so you know, his infrastructure is okay here, but the problem is that he's got no real map presence, and TechnicS is just flooding units towards his natural right now. The spawns are actually very, very close, where I think Terror should be a little bit more ahead at this point in the game, and oh man, he's got to bring the Marines up a little bit more. These tanks are going to be crucial to the defense here, but there is the Dark Swarm, and now the tanks have to pull back a little bit. The Defiler is irradiated, but he's going to get another Swarm down right at the natural expansion, and the tanks siege up! A bad position to siege! Oh my god, he just sieged up right at the edge of the swarm there, and is just gonna get massacred. I don't understand why he just sieged up as the swarm went down. I guess, oh man, he's gonna lose these tanks for sure, and now he's in huge trouble here. His small force in the map is doing absolutely nothing, just camping that high ground outside the 3rd, but now Terror is losing his natural expansion. TechnicS just walking the lurkers straight in. More reinforcements are flooding out here. Does he have anything extra in his base? Any greater spire? Nope, no need for that shenanigans. For those shenanigans, just gonna finish this off with Lurker Defiler. I don't really see how Terror can win from here. He's back down to just his main base, which should get mined out shortly. And even if he, you know, somehow stabilizes here, I mean, he's still contained on a reverse ramp here. I mean, how is he going to push up here with that many lurkers at the top? He's just got 1 siege tank, one random lurker just suiciding himself, and he doesn't care. It looks like, though, Terra's at least found this 9 o'clock base, but I mean, look at this. TechnicS just has so many units, it doesn't matter. TechnicS just with astoundingly good macro, and he's just able to just throw units everywhere here. And that small group of units is doing nothing. It looks like Terra's not going to split this force. I'm going to send a few more units over to 9 o'clock, still leaving a small force to deny that that potential base for TechnicS. Meanwhile, he's finally reclaimed his natural and slowly starts sieging us down. TechnicS deciding actually to engage these small marauding force on the map rather than reinforce that base. So it looks like this small group of units, even though it hasn't actually killed anything, it's at least given Terra some breathing room in his natural, you can see. So Terra finally being mining here, but he's now behind on supply compared to TechnicS. And that is a pretty terrible position as a Terran player. His only good thing for him right now is that he's got good upgrades. So he's at 2-1 already on his bio against unupgraded Zerg, although TechnicS does have 2 evolution chambers upgrading. It looks like he's going to be 1-1 fairly soon anyway. Meanwhile, what's going on up here? Whoa, looks like that's a rally point or something. Random overlords. And, well, Terra now going to get a third base here. So if he can hold this and just play maybe a bit defensively and just hold on, he might be okay. But the problem is it's so hard to play defensively if your opponent has Dark Swarm. I mean, the best way to... the whole reason that Terran players open or play the early mid-game with Bio usually is that they can be aggressive and be active on the map. Because if you're just sitting at your natural inside your base... it doesn't matter how many units you have. If he just throws down a Dark Swarm, there's nothing you can do. The only real defense against Dark Swarm is just having enough room to move around it. So sitting around in your main base is actually not, or it's going to be very difficult to do against Zerg. Although it looks like still Defiler with his force. Although, oh no, it looks like Defiler somehow just ran way ahead of everyone else. So that's actually going to deny this command center for now, but he is going to irradiate that guy. So when the swarms go out, he may be able to recover this. And he does have a few mines here that are helping out. Nice mine there, grabbing 2 of those lurkers here. He's only got one factory pumping them. So he's got to kind of choose between the siege tanks and the vultures. In the meantime, the Bioforce now moving out to counterattack at this 9 o'clock base, but there is already Defiler there. And meanwhile, looks like a dropship down at the bottom left. Doesn't quite do anything with TechnicS having enough units there already anyway. But the drop is still loaded, so he can potentially go somewhere else. Maybe drop in the main or start elevating these units or something. I'm not really sure. It's just kind of rejoining here the main force. It's heading towards the natural. That's not going to be the best place to drop, but it's like a few locals there, and they're actually in a really nice position now to stop any incoming Marines. Like, how do you actually dislodge this? It's going to have to wait for siege tanks yet again. Meanwhile, these dropships actually somehow made it all the way into the main base. It's going to get Scourged now. Is it going to drop 1 unit? 2 units? Alright, it gets 2 units. If that was a fire bat and it was like right in the corner, that would have been crazy if it just killed everything. But meanwhile, oh man, Terror has actually used the dropship distraction to bust the 9 o'clock here, and it looks like TechnicS finally, after all the amazing defense we've seen so far in this game, has finally slipped up here and is allowing this base to fall. Finally couldn't quite keep up with all of the multitask. I mean, he's been doing an amazing job denying all of the attacks of Terra so far, but he is now going to lose this 9 o'clock base, going to go back down to his original 3 bases. But that's okay, because he is still denying the third base of Terra, although not for long here. Terra does clean this up with a nice D-Matrix on that leading siege tank, cleans up all the lurkers. I don't even know if he lost any units here. But he is going to take his third base, and actually, if Terra can hold this, he will be at 3 bases against TechnicS' 3, which will give him an economic edge over the Zerg. But TechnicS still has a supply lead here, 126 against 112, and looks like he's going to come in here and try and take down this entire Terran force, but it looks like Terra very well seeing it in time and pulls back up onto the top of the ramp, now getting a perfect choke point against the Zerg here. These Zerglings cannot get up this ramp against all that bio. Terra has to be really, really careful. Oh man, look at this, just suiciding all of those Zerglings. Though he does keep a good number of them still alive, although that Radiate might kill a few more. And is now just going for the counterattack here. You know, he has actually got a drone here. He can take this as his 4th again if he wants. Yeah, it looks like now he's just going to go ahead and do that. Meanwhile, looks like 2-2 is well on its way for TechnicS as well. But I think the Terror's already at 2-2, so he still has the upgrade edge. And this small group of units is going to try and counterattack, I think. But looks like there are plenty of units here, and no, it looks like they're just going to camp here on this middle high ground pod. But a couple of leading vessels are going to see what's up and be able to give their Marine brothers some warning and also irradiate some of these lurkers. This third base, as we can see, is up and running. He's got a nice bunker up here. He's got some mines in position, and it looks like he's now going to run in here with these Marines. There's only a single lurker there, so it looks like Terra's just going to go for it. He doesn't care. Oh man, taking a pretty big hit there to the lurker, but he does take it out, and TechnicS is going to have to cancel this base once again here. So TechnicS being denied his 4th base. Is he retaking it here? He's not. So TechnicS actually, if this keeps up, is going to just, you know, lose the economic game here, because this war of attrition, if he's on 3 bases against 3 bases, is not going to work. I'm a little bit surprised that the game's gotten to this point here. You know, when TerrOr was forced back into his main base and lost control of his natural, I thought the game was done. But somehow he's holding on like a boss here. TechnicS still has a supply lead though, so I don't understand how TerrOr is possibly doing this. You know, but it's working, and this is actually just very impressive play. Now, TechnicS has sent a giant army over here to defend against just a handful of Marines, which is not really necessary, although it looks like he will get it. One's going to force him back a little bit. That's kind of cute, targeting down those Scourge. I'm not really sure if that's particularly effective, but, well, I guess, you know, showing off a little bit of micro there. But, of course, is going to lose the rest of that force. But in the meantime, it looks like there might have been a plague on a few of these vessels, but he's getting a decent vessel count up. He's now up to 5 vessels. You know, TechnicS still has a supply lead, but again, it's 3 base against 3 base, although I guess the Terran is mined out on his main. But Zerg also is not mining much from his main either, and it's actually, TechnicS is mined out his natural before his main base. So both players actually on a little bit smaller. Ooh, nice, grabbing a vessel there. So it's actually basically 2 base against, like, a base and a half, because this base isn't mining yet. Oh man, this is actually quite bad, an economic situation for TechnicS, and he doesn't have very much gas, as you can see. He's got a lot of spare minerals, but not very much gas, which is really what you want for the hive level units. A decent plague there, but oh, well, looks like he's going to force these Marines back a little bit. And I mean, has he depleted these geysers? He's depleted both these geysers, so actually he's essentially only mining off one full geyser here. The main and natural are both depleted, so he really needs this gas actually to start mining here to really get out those beefy units like the lurkers and whatnot. Obviously TerrOr, still being on bio, doesn't care about gas at all. Even if his gases are depleted, as long as he has minerals, he's a-okay. And looks like, well, he was a couple of Dark Swarms going down here, some lurkers coming in. The lurkers are a little bit slow here. Most of the Zerglings die before the lurkers come in, but that one Hydralisk actually, with a few science vessel kills, of course, getting all of the plague science vessels, very, very effective there, keeping that vessel count down. But TerrOr is definitely holding on here, but look at this. TerrOr is actually about to mine out his natural, so he's going to be down to 1 base. And TechnicS, now with the 9 o'clock, and now also taking this bottom left natural, is going to retake the economic lead here. And crucially, the 4th base on this map for Terran is going to be a little bit hard to take here. This 3 o'clock base is quite far away by ground, and also it's kind of away from where his army wants to be. So he obviously wants to kind of be putting pressure on the Zerg, but then he'll be moving away from his defending his expansion. So getting the 4th base, I think, will be quite tricky for TerrOr to do. But I guess we'll see what happens here. Oh man, looks like there's going to be a big engagement here in the middle of the map. I don't see any Dark Swarms, but it doesn't matter because the Zerg is just overwhelming the Terran here. Despite Terra actually reclaiming the supply lead, there's just so many lurkers, but good movement of the Marines here, just backing up, sniping out lurkers. Really good control here from Terror. Lost barely anything there to that lurker force. I thought he would lose a lot more, although he is losing a few more units here. It looks like they were just hotkeyed in with the main army there and just came in as reinforcements and got killed. The Terror was a pretty nice micro right there. In the meantime, I'm going to see not quite a base here yet. TechnicS, by the way, banging quite a few minerals, but I mean, there's not too much you can do about that. You know, make a few extra Zerglings here and there, fine, but it really needs a bit more gas. And it looks like the main army is coming in here to try and take down this base. Some lurkers coming in from the back here. The lurkers not burrowing yet, though, and looks like the Marines are running back. This hatchery is being targeted down here. Terror just going to snipe the base and maybe just run into the bottom left main. I'm not sure how he's going to play this. These Marines are completely stuck. There's no escape for them, so they just have to do the maximum amount of damage that they can. And here we go. The lurkers are moving in here. There's a Dark Swarm. The Marines are going to back up. Meanwhile, it looks like a few random lings are cleaning up some reinforcements here. But the main engagement is at the bottom left, and oh my god, Terra's not paying attention, but no! Looks like these lurkers were actually irradiated, and this lurker, is it covered by the swarm? It's not covered by the swarm, so it looks like Terra actually wins the engagement. Meanwhile, more units coming from the bottom side, but how much longer are the Dark Swarms going to be up? It looks like long enough for him to push these Marines back behind the minerals, but that is a perfect position for these Marines. They're going to get so many kills, although the lurker now will probably be able to finish them off, especially with the Dark Swarm. Yeah, so with that Dark Swarm, he does finish them off, and oh, tries to catch these in a play. He has a few mutas, really wants to grab these vessels as well. Are there any Marines here? Has a few more random vessels. I think he should just irradiate the mutas or something like that, or he's going to lose these vessels anyway. Yeah, he's just going to irradiate them. Although looks like he actually might not even have enough energy. And oh man, he's going to grab 4 of the vessels. Very, very big grab there for TechnicS, but let's look at the supplies. 134 for Terror against 108 for TechnicS. The supply lead has swung massively in the opposite direction here. TechnicS was ahead in supply for so long, is now behind about 30 supply compared to his opponent. He's lost his base, however, he's retaken his base. He's retaking the 6 o'clock because, of course, he had so many minerals in the bank that even though he's getting all these bases sniped, it doesn't really matter. And now Terror, despite doing great attacks all over the place, is now under attack at his own 30. He's got a lot of Marines coming in to help defend. They are 3-3 Marines, very, very scary, although the Zerg's at 3-2 as well, so he's got pretty good upgrades. But the thing is, how is Terror going to get another base? He's built another command center. He's going to float it down to the 9 o'clock, but that is going to be so vulnerable to just small groups of Zerglings counterattacking. He's going to have a really hard time defending that, as well as keeping the pressure on his opponent. But so far, he's done a good job. It looks like he's forgotten, unfortunately, about these 2 vessels, though. Although considering he's going down there, you will hopefully find them. Oh! Whoa! Man. So these two vessels died though. So good job by TechnicS keeping that vessel count low, but another attack coming down here. There's 3 lurkers, 2 defilers. Now, you know, a couple of defilers with 3 lurkers should be able to stop a good sized Terran army. Just needs to get a good placement on the swarm. Yeah, so that's gonna be hard. Terran's gonna have to wait for Irradiate to actually finish off the lurkers if he wants to. Meanwhile, a big lurker-ling and defiler force coming in the back. Not that many lurkers though, mainly Zerglings. And looks like this army might actually need it halfway here before TechnicS is prepared here. Where are the Dark Swarms? He needs to get these ready. And it looks like, oh man, a lot of the Zerglings gonna fall before the swarms get down, but he is gonna get the lurkers in among the Marines. So the Marines backing up once again here and losing a good number of them on the retreat, but he will again take down most of the Zerg army here, although at the cost of most of his own as well. Meanwhile, though, he has got a few units down here to defend this 9 o'clock base. He is floating it down, but he's got to take control of all of these bases that TechnicS is getting. For every base that Terra kills, TechnicS just seems to get 2 more here. He's like the multi-headed Hydra, and oh man, a few Zerglings coming in here, but without Dark Swarm, I don't think they can actually kill these Marines. The Marines are actually in a really good position. You can see the medics forming a bit of a wall here at the front, although no, the medics actually for some reason ran away and went to the other side, so TechnicS is gonna clean up this force here in the middle. I thought the Marines could actually handle that, but no, for some reason the medics just went out of position there, so that was a bit unfortunate there for Terra. Meanwhile, Terra is actually getting very close to mining out his 3rd base here at the 12, so he really desperately needs this base to survive. Meanwhile, it looks like couple of lurkers trying to deny this base, not gonna happen, but oh, the cows are ready. They don't have either of their upgrades though. Oh, just as I say, the carapace upgrade finisher. These are 5-2 cows. They don't have speed just yet, but these are going to be very devastating to Terror, who has not yet made the mech switch, so he doesn't have anything to effectively deal with the Ultras. He doesn't have any good high number of siege tanks. He doesn't have that many vessels either, and oh, he's even going to lose a few more vessels here. I don't know what the hell that scourge. It didn't hit the red one. Coming in with these vessels, gonna start irradiating these. Oh man, but these irradiates could actually kill all his SCVs. The irradiate will affect his SCVs. He has to be really careful about that. But man, TechnicS is now out of control. I mean, look at this. TechnicS has the entire left half of the map right now, despite being, you know, on the back foot for a little while there. What a crazy back and forth game we're seeing. But now TechnicS, as you can see, is mining away happily on these bottom left bases. He's got the 9 o'clock base mining away as well. He's got 3 fresh bases plus the remnants of this bottom left base still mining, whereas Terror pretty soon is just going to be only mining this base. This base is going to be mined out very, very soon. So, however, Terror, having taken this position, can maybe use this as a springboard to take these bottom right 2 bases. If Terror can somehow split the map and just maybe just turtle up and get a lot of siege tanks or something, he still has a shot in this game, but he definitely needs to do something right now. I mean, I don't know, actually, I'm not sure if it's actually better to maybe just play really aggressive or play really defensive, because on the one hand, if he can kill 1 or 2 of these bases that TechnicS has at bottom left, which are fairly lightly defended, you know, he can even up the economy situation. But on the other hand, I think it would be really beneficial if you get the bottom right 2 bases and split the map, because generally, if the TVZ goes to really late game in a split map situation, and the Terran can actually do a mech switch, it's very, very difficult for Zerg to actually break it. It's just so hard, again, you know, to actually run into that mech wall and take it down. But the thing is, I don't know if Terra actually has enough time to solidify his position here and actually switch into mech. I mean, he's still completely on bio, only 1 factory still. He just has not had the time or the money to make that mech switch yet. And so, you know, I think since he is still on the bio, maybe he should actually be a little bit more active rather than just sitting here, because, oh man, he's got to bring these Marines in here as well. Are they going to focus the command center? Really, just going to focus on the SCVs? And in the meantime, an Ultra Link Force is coming in from the other side here. Is there a Defiler here? Yep, there's a Defiler bringing up the rear. And, oh man, TechnicS once again going to grab a couple of vessels. Ooh! TechnicS just doing a really good job this whole game of keeping the vessel count low, but oh man, where's that Defiler? Defiler needs to get this perfect swarm off. It only has enough energy for 1. It didn't get a full energy, or it didn't max out its energy with Consume here, so it's not going to have a second swarm to plant here to allow him to kill the command center. So I think by the Marines pulling back here, Terra should be able to at least defend this expansion, but TechnicS is going to be able to replenish so easily here, and whoa, nice couple of mines right there. I mean, yeah, TechnicS' economy is just out of control. I mean, I think Terra, at the very least, should try and do some Marine drops or something. He is now getting another command center at the bottom right main here. He's somehow at 168 supply. I don't know how his supply is so high, because his army looks very, very small here. Does he just have too many SCVs? He must have too many SCVs here. There's no other explanation. Okay, this patch is about to get mined out. Does he just have like 20 million SCVs? No, he doesn't have that many SCVs. I don't know how he has so much supply that I just can't see on the map. He's gonna grab a couple of things in. He's actually floating his natural command center out now because he doesn't need that there anymore. But yeah, so it looks like TechnicS has gone. Sorry, Terra has gone with the route of actually claiming this bottom right corner here. And you know, if he can actually do that safely, he'll be in a good position once again. But I'm really hesitant to call things either way now because this game has been really back and forth so far. I've thought both players were dead at sort of different points in this game, so this is really, really interesting. I mean, Terra just showing how tenacious Terran can be here. I'm sure Zergs watching this maybe are a little bit frustrated because, you know, TechnicS was ahead for a lot of the game and just couldn't really close it out. But the thing is, Terra hasn't even been doing that many drops. I mean, he did essentially like one failed drop at the bottom left that he just moved to the main and failed again. I mean, it's not like he's, you know, multitasking like crazy and going all over the place. It just seems to have, he seems to have slightly better micro in the big engagements. And I don't know. I mean, I guess he's just being Terran. That's clearly the only explanation. Ugh, these Terrans. Anyway, so TechnicS is now just spending all of his gas, maxing out on the Ultra Ling. And looks like he's just preparing for one huge attack against Terra. But look at this, Terra's at 170 supply already. How does he have this? He has like one siege tank. It's entirely bio. Oh my god, he's just pumping 8 racks bio here. You know, not doing a late game mix switch at all, just staying on this bio composition, and that's pretty crazy. Nowadays, you almost always see the late game mix switch. But I guess given the circumstances, you know, this is not bad at all. But the problem again is that if he gets pinned in a corner and Dark Swarms come down, he's just not going to have any answer to it with the bio. Whereas if you're meching, you know, you can place a lot of mines, and the Sea Shanks still do a good amount of splash damage to the Ultra Ling under the swarm. So you're not completely defenseless. Although finally we do have a drop now at the 6 o'clock location. Killing a few units here. Looks like he's going to get a lot of Zergling kills because the Zerglings just cannot get a position. Oh my god! He's just having the most efficient Marines ever. 9 kills on that one Marine, killing a million Zerglings, and Ultralisks are all getting stuck on the drones as well. And he's now going to reposition, but there's actually nothing here at the bottom anyway. And oh my god, the massive Vessel Cloud. He's got to be careful though. A lot of these are plagued, and there is a Hydralisk here. He's got to be careful. I think he should actually just irradiate the Hydra just for lulz. Although, is there more than one? You see what I'm talking about? Oh my god, 3 kills right there just on that Hydra. That's why that's a very dangerous move. Meanwhile, this random Vulture is laying mines in the middle of the map. These vessels should not stay here, though. I don't know why Terra's risking these vessels like this. This is not a good idea. But he has actually, this I'm pretty sure is his natural command center. So he's repositioned this, and finally, the beginnings of a mech switch. He's finally, now that he's reestablished the bottom, or not reestablished, but established for the first time the bottom right. You know, this is actually usually when you make the mech switch, when you get another main on a 4-player map, so you have the space to build all the factories. Of course, sometimes players just lift all their barracks and do it in their main, but I think it's generally better if you can do it in another main. But look at this, a good number of Ultralisks are now moving out with Hydralisk support, actually, which is quite interesting. I mean, TechnicS doing almost like a late-game ZVP composition here, going mass Ultra Hydraling. I don't know why. Well, I guess he doesn't actually have gas to make these into lurkers, so he's just going with the Hydras instead. And they are helping out a little bit against the mass vessel count, because he doesn't want the vessels to run rampant on his Ultralisks. Actually, it looks like, did Terra leave enough units to defend his natural? He might have his entire army at the bottom right instead. But TechnicS is not going to commit, though. He's not going to be... is he getting dropped? Oh, look at that, he is getting dropped. I was going to say, you know, at this point, getting dropped would be quite good here. You know, try and circumvent some of the defenses, maybe do a Doom drop on the main or something. By the way, don't forget, there is still a drop ship here. I'm going to try and keep an eye on this so I don't miss it when it goes back in here. Hopefully Terra hasn't forgotten about it. But, I keep confusing the names, sorry. You know, Terra is in the midst of this transition here, and so generally that's the really good time for the Zerg to strike, because that's when, you know, the Terran might be saving a little bit of supply. He's not maxing out, he's waiting till he can get some more siege tanks, and that's when he's vulnerable. So I don't know if, I mean, TechnicS is still playing it very, very carefully. He doesn't want to waste his units. He wants to go for a huge attack here and just make it a killing blow. But he's got to go soon before these factories complete and the siege tanks start being added, because if a lot of siege tanks start coming out, these Hydras are going to melt, the Ultras are going to melt. Even with Dark Swarm there, it's going to be pretty difficult for TechnicS to break it. Although he will have drop, though. Drop will help immensely. He can, you know, drop Ultralisks directly on top of siege tanks. Meanwhile, it looks like this dropship actually was cleaned up before re-dropping its payload. So that's getting taken care of. And oh, it looks like we do have a small drop heading over to the snapshot. And you can see it's completely undefended. The Marines are well, they're not that far away. There are a couple of turrets here, though. They might actually grab one of these overlords before it can drop. But you know, most of the units should come down here. And well, actually, looks like they're going to get that before. With that had 2 lurks in it, that's actually a pretty big win. And oh my god, this drop was a distraction. It was a distraction. The main force is coming in the other side. Oh my god, he pulled a lot of the Marines out of position here. He's now breaking up the ramp. If TerrOr can hold here, he will be in a great position, but there's so much Zerg here. There are just so many units, although there's a siege tank now. There's 2 siege tanks on the low ground, and the Marines are holding in the back, and there's no more Dog Swarm. There's no more Dog Swarm here. I don't think this is a good position to attack. Even though he's got Ultras, there's 2 siege tanks on the low ground. Looks like only 1 remaining. A lot of Hydras still left. The Ultra is still tanking damage. TerrOr, can he hold here? It looks like he's going to hold the main, but he's probably going to lose his command center. I don't think there's any way for him to save that command center. However, if he can at least save the bottom right main, if he can at least save the 3 o'clock, he will still be in it. And it looks like TerrOr has broken the wide ramp here. He's moving up here. Reinforcements coming down from both players here. They're going to meet halfway here. TechnicS, sorry, just spamming out Hydra Ling right now. No more ultimates, no lurkers, but is Hydra Ling really the way to go? Since there's no medic marine here, it probably is. There's nothing to actually protect the siege tanks, but here the Marines are coming in and they're going to grab the Defilers. The Marines are going to grab the Defilers before they can get their spells off. It looks like a random swarm and plague there just because they're going to die. And actually, these siege tanks are going to get picked off by these Hydras coming in. A really nice move to mix in all these Hydras at the end here. And this one Defiler is holding everything up, but these Marines are going to come back. They should defend it, although TerrOr has lost a lot of his siege tanks there. A lot of those expensive siege tanks got sniped as soon as they popped out, and these Hydras are still causing havoc here in the base of TerrOr. Meanwhile, some more reinforcements are coming down for TechnicS here. It looks like, oh man, he's even just fighting. Oh man, the Marines are all just shooting the Hydras. They're not even attacking the Lings. They're just shooting the Hydras. Oh my god. Free Marine kills there for TechnicS, but TerrOr, he's still got a few random units, but TechnicS now has reclaimed the supply lead 140 against 132. Can he overwhelm with the reinforcements? No, it looks like his Firebat helping out immensely here. A Defiler finally coming in, and TechnicS just A-moving every last unit he's got here, just direct from the hatchery to the battlefield here. No training, no rest. Oh man, I mean, these Zerglings are still covered in amniotic fluids here, and they're just charging headlong into Spire Mines. That is how desperate this situation is here, but it's looking like TerrOr is going to fall. TechnicS is breaking through. There's swarms on the factories. There's no more reinforcements from the main base here. TerrOr is bleeding out. He's just got no more reinforcements coming in. He's got almost no units left. And this base is going to fall. How he's at least mining, but GG! TechnicS takes game number 1. And what an amazing game. What a battle that was, with TerrOr almost pulling it back there. Just if you had a few more units to hold there, maybe he could have split the map and taken it, but TechnicS is able to take it down and it just goes up 1-0 in the series. That was the first game, guys, out of a potential 5-game series. Oh man. Oh, I'm like sweating like crazy. Oh, it's really hot here though. It's really hot in the UK now for some reason. Anyway, that was a great game. I hope the rest of the games are like that. I would be very pleased if that was the case. But we're going to go to a quick break so I can catch my breath, and then we're going to come back for game number 2 on Match Point.